Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back. Man, it has been a long time since I've recorded and uploaded something. Well, first I'm going to show you this. Now, this will be a little bit of a video to show you the mechanics of something some of you might not really understand. Now, this, my friends, is Paragon. Yeah. Let me just get out of this mode real quick. This, my friends, is Paragon. Well, at least the newly updated version of Paragon. I say it's still fun, but many other people don't like it. Oh well. Now, if you're not entirely sure what Paragon is, well, Paragon is a MOBA, multiplayer online battle arena game. And the the goal is to lead your minions against the enemy to their tower and destroy the tower, then destroy the next tower, then destroy something called the inhibitor, and then the core. Of course, you're not going to be able to do that in one complete run of the towers, and you might die trying, but you know, it's all trial and error, is it not? So yes, there's also unique sets of characters, each their own different abilities and play styles. And of course, this map has been quote-unquote Christmas-fied slightly. There's snow, but you can't see it because this is watch mode. Yada yada yada. Snowman at the core bases. Yeah. So, Paragon, interesting game. Let me explain to you the lanes. There's the mid lane, held by what we call casters, or lane casters, people who use their magic a lot, like this fellow right here. Don't be fooled, the name on top of him isn't the character's name. It's just the person's. This is multiplayer, online, battles, destroying the tower. Nobody's coming to help it.
An enemy has been slain.
Yes. And this is also a game I played in. There I am over there. Oh my god, I'm almost dead. What happened? Oh well. But yes. Mid lane is for something called lane casters, like this fellow here, who is playing as the character named Gideon, who has very interesting and very powerful abilities. Now, the safe lane, or at least our safe lane, i.e. the right lane when you look out, although the map shows it as our left lane, just the longer lane for your side is the safe lane. This is supposed to be controlled by a support character and what people call a carry, or somebody who's supposed to dish out a lot of damage but not be especially durable.
Enemy tower destroyed.
They destroyed one of our towers. Oh no, we destroyed one of their towers. I think. Yes. So, and then the offlaner, which is actually, from this perspective, it is the shortest lane when you're looking at your side. Now the offlaner is supposed to be held by somebody who is durable, like this fellow, Greystone. Name. Greystone is especially durable because... Oh wow, he's running at me. Greystone is especially durable because he can revive himself once after dying. Oh wow, they really want to kill my friend here. Oh hey, this is and here's Gideon again. He has interestingly powerful abilities. Gideon can drop a rock on you, teleport to a location a certain distance away from himself, slow you down by tethering you, or do his ultimate, which is to, what's it called, to do a black hole, per se. My poor friend Frost just died.
Enemy has been slain.
So yes. Now, the main game, what a lot of people also think that this game is for, is to kill the enemy. A lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. There are people who say it's one hell of an achievement to kill the enemy 20 times and not die once. And they would be right. That is an achievement. It was an even bigger achievement to actually win the game.
An enemy tower is under attack.
Now this fellow here, his name is Steel. Very defensive. Used to be a ridiculously, quote-unquote, tanky, i.e. very durable. Although with the change of the update, health upgrades have been reduced by half. That's why this fellow has, if you see like the solid black line in their health, which is the blue and orange bar, that represents 500 health points. As you can see. He's using his health very quickly and he just died. To our friend Greystone here. Faye. Faye is also another... They can play many roles. They can either support or go mid lane, laner, caster, yada yada yada. And I believe... Oh yes, one thing I have to tell you, the jungles. Now, in the new map called Monolith, representing dawn and dusk, good and the bad, the dark and the light, the yin and the yang, whatever you want to call it, are these things called jungle buffs. Now, jungle buffs, when killed, grant you a shield that it does damage back to whoever's hitting you and explodes when it runs out. These are regular minions that just give you card points, and experience. Card points are used to buy more upgrades when you get enough. This over here, somebody just destroyed it. God dang it. Ah. The hell? Okay, that's confusing. So that, whatever the hell that thing was, that is called a river buff. There are 4 different kinds of river buffs that will appear randomly.
An enemy has been slain.
The river buffs can either give you speed boost, increased damage over time applied, or invisibility, or in the lore of Paragon, walking into something called the shadow plane, which one of the characters can naturally do. I think it's the one that's running away right here. This character right here, named Kalari, can naturally walk into the shadow plane. Very powerful on this kind of map, because there's no such thing as travel mode. i.e. everybody runs at a certain pace, and the only way to escape from somebody is to run away while looking in the other direction. Oh, yes, Amber Links. Now before, back in the Legacy update, there used these things called harvesters you had to put up. Now they could easily be destroyed, and they sometimes, depending on how competent the person was, took some time to put up. But if they were emptied every couple of, seconds or whatnot, not sure what this guy's doing here. If they were empty, then they could give you and your team card power. But now they have this Amber Link, which is fueled by destroying jungle minions or jungle buffs, and it fills up. Depending on how much it fills up, it'll give every 2 minutes. It'll give your team a certain amount of card power. I see that's a little pretty useful. It makes it so that the jungler only has to do certain things once in a while. And jungler is what we use to call the person in the jungle attacking the jungle minions. Now this thing is a river buff and it's red, so it means it's the red buff, so it does increase damage. Other colors are black, which is the dot buff, or the damage over time buff. Purple, which is the invisibility buff. And blue, which is the speed boost buff. And every time you kill one of those buffs, you regenerate a good amount of mana for a while. Now this thing here, giant I know, is called Orb Prime, or the Prime buff. You kill that thing, which is not easy, as you can see by the amount of health it has, and the ticks. With its solid health. Those are the black lines. Now, if you kill it, you get something called or prime buff, which when you make a deck, yes, a deck used when you make a deck, which is used, which you make a deck that has certain cards in it, and you use those cards during the game. You can change the deck whenever you want to. It doesn't stay there forever. Only if you have the certain cards to change the deck. You also have to make sure it's balanced, because otherwise, it's best to have cards that can be fully upgraded rather than just have cards that can have 1 or 2 upgrades. Because the max amount is 3. Yes, Orb Prime gives you a certain buff. Let me see. It gives you 3 kinds of buffs. The Arc Magus gives you increased damage, and increased damage of your towers to enemy minions when they walk in the range. There's also the Centurion, which gives you increased health and increased health to nearby minions. And there's also the Warlord, which gives you power again. Power is increased damage and increased damage from your minions to enemy minions. You get one of those 3 cards depending which one you put into your active deck. You get one of those 3 effects. This thing is not easy to kill, although people with certain types of decks can quote unquote solo it. Here's a it's almost 2 minutes. This is what it looks like when Amberlink gets drained. Yes, I know. Very not too interesting, but it's interesting to people who get benefited of the card power. Ooh, somebody just got trapped in a trap. Pardon? Oh yes. Enemy inhibitor is being attacked. Well, it was being attacked. And my friend just died. Yeah, we're attacking it, but we didn't do well the first time. But fear not. Now, what else do I have to talk about? I feel like I'm missing something. Oh yes, I am missing something. These things, they're called raptors, or the raptors. These things are a lot harder to kill than regular minions, and every time you kill one raptor, you get exactly 1 card point. Now when you kill jungle minions, you probably get like a very small fraction of a card point, although that kind of builds this thing up and allows you to get more card points. And but yeah, the raptors can give you 1 full card point. So if you kill all 3, you get 3 card points, which is how a lot of cards are usually built. Because back in the pre-monolith update, it used to be so that you would get 3 card points every time you did your whole leveling up thing. Now this is the enemy Amberlink. The enemy Amberlink will always be orange, even if you're on the opposing team, because coloring and all that. You're always on blue team, they're always on orange team. Even for the enemy, they appear themselves as blue, but they're actually orange to you. But whatever. So, if you're a person who jungles, much like our character on the left, SSWDE, if you look at the name, he is playing as a character named Chimera. Ridiculously powerful in this update, but a lot of people care, and I don't, honestly. I say he's still a good character. But yeah, so if you're a jungle character, you want to attack the enemy Amberlink as frequently as you can. You attack this thing, you will take the card power that this thing is storing. Well, to an extent. I believe that is everything. Paragon is free to play for PlayStation. Can't play on Xbox, but you can play this game on PC. In fact, it's crossplay. This game didn't show it, but you can actually play PlayStation players along with PC players. Of course, you need something to communicate with. There's like an app, but I forget what it's called. And I believe that is all to the game. But now let me explain to you every single character's abilities. So, wait, let me go in the hero chase, it'll be a little easier. So this is me. I'm playing as a character called Murdoch. He has his Halloween skin. You can tell because it's a pumpkin head. So this is Murdoch, in his Halloween outfit. So he has the ability to do a kind of a shotgun attack called a buckshot. He also has the ability to place down a trap. It takes a while for it to start to set up, but when it does, if an enemy walks over to it, it will root the enemy in place. See, someone's coming to gank me. Gank means for you, if you're powerful enough, to run behind an enemy. Oh yes, I just put my trap down. If anybody walks onto that trap, it will hold them in place for a few seconds. And the term gank means to to run behind an opponent if they don't have wards. And wards, getting it. Run behind your opponent if they don't have wards, and basically try to kill them before they can even realize they're getting attacked. Some people are smart enough to be able to run away. Some people are smart enough to put down wards, and wards allow everything in a certain radius to be detected. So yes, wards are very valuable. And there's these things, if you've noticed, called fog walls. If you put down a ward, you cannot see past this wall. If you're right here, you can't see anything past this wall. If you're right here, you can't see anything past this wall. So there could be an enemy standing right there, and if you're right here, you can't tell. But if you put a ward on this side, here comes the enemy Gideon. If you put a ward on the opposite side, you can see anybody running up here. Although if you put a ward like on this side, you can't see if somebody's coming through this area. Only up here. And that is too close for comfort. That's how wards work. Wards can help. Wards can also detect the person who can go invisible very well. Friend's about to kill that Greystone. He's about to die. Oh well, 1 for 1. So my character, so he can do a buckshot, which is like a shotgun shot. He can set down a trap, which holds the enemy in place if they walk over to it. And he can do what's it called? Oh yeah, he can, if the enemy gets too close to him, or there's too many minions in front of him, he can push them back. If you look at the bottom right, his abilities are there. Can I look at them? No, I can't. Oops. Oh yes. And his ultimate, or his triangle ability, everybody's triangle ability is their ultimate. But his ultimate is, he can aim, he aims at the enemy, or he aims wherever he wants to, with a sniper. And a sniper can pierce through any structure. So if you see an enemy on low health, they're, I don't know, just say standing still, you can aim at them and shoot them and they'll die. Although some cases take precision, i.e. if you're trying to shoot something that's moving, that takes a bit of practice. And it's not exactly an easy task. Especially changes to his ultimate have made it so that you have to hit a target right on the reticle for it to actually hit them. When it used to be that if you hit them in the aura, if you hit them in like the area of the shot, then you will kill them. And if you see I was just randomly shooting there, that's because I was testing my fire rate. But carries like Murdoch, they usually have increased fire rate. Carries like Twin Blast, on the other hand, which nobody's playing as, I don't think. We have increased fire rate to the point where it's good for them to, what's it called? Good for them to add lifesteal, which is a percentage of the damage you do is brought back to you as health. It's very useful, especially on certain characters that are usually supposed to have a lot of lifesteal. And that steal over there just took the jungle buff. And now he's taking our jungle minions for whatever reason. Oh yes, on the Amber Link, to fill it up you have to attack your jungle minions. If you attack the enemy jungle and their minions, you won't get any store up in your Amber Link. Alright, next character. Gideon. His square ability, or I'm not sure what key it is for PC, but his square ability, he drops a rock on he aims and he can drop a rock on his enemy. Just like my character Snipe, you have to kind of aim ahead of where they're running to. It's weird. And his circle is a teleport to a certain distance. The distance increases in size with every time you level up your abilities. And his R1 is a tether and a slowdown. It slows down the enemy. His triangle. His triangle is he forms around himself a black hole which tethers the enemy to him, making it very hard to escape it unless you have an escape ability like this Gideon does, which is the teleport. Now the ultimate makes it very, very difficult for most carries and other characters who can't escape on their own accord. If you're ulted there, you either have to have a card called Blink Charm, which will allow you to teleport kind of like Gideon, how he teleports, or you just have to have a character on your team who can stun, because whenever Gideon does his ultimate, it can be stunned and stopped. Right, next character, that's also Gideon. Steel. Steel, his square, he does a dash attack. That's his ultimate right there, what you just saw, where he slams his shield to the ground. The square is a shield charge. The circle in R1, I think his circle is where he puts up a giant shield, and I believe you guys have seen that. And his R1 is when he holds out a shield, tries to block his enemy's attacks. It does reduce damage to you.
Enemy tower destroyed.
It does reduce damage to you if you hold out your shield. This is Greystone. Greystone has his square ability. His square ability allows him to do a kind of a radial AoE attack, area of effect attack, where he swings his sword around even if he's not actually doing an attack. He just died, so I'm going to switch to the other Greystone. His circle ability is a passive ability that increases his armor. Increases his armor to basic attack. Okay, I'm gonna switch out of that. Those raptors are loud. So he's gonna increase his armor to basic attacks or most melee attacks except for one character, and attacks by characters like Twin Blast and Sparrow who have basic tech. And there's two attack types in this game, basic and ability. You can probably tell which are basic and ability by if it's blunt or if it's like magic or energy. Yeah. It's Greystone. I believe this is him. It's not him. This is Greystone. Alright. The circle is increased ability armor, which makes it so that characters who have the characters who have the basic type damage. Characters who have basic type damage do less damage to him unless they have something called basic penetration or pierce. Yeah. Now his R1 is his leap, which he just did right now. That's his leap ability. He has a triangle ability, which he's about to use right now, which he dies, and then he revives himself. In most cases, you can probably live afterwards, but in some you might end up just getting killed again. Now this character here is an annoying one. This one is Kalari, and currently they are invisible. Okay, there we go. Their square ability is where they turn invisible. They turn invisible for a certain amount of time, I don't know exactly how much. Their circle ability is where they can ready up a blade that can be thrown, and if it hits the enemy, it will slow them down and do quite an interesting amount of damage to them. And their R1 ability is a jump, and if you press R1 again while in air, it will be another jump. You use something called mana. It's obvious, the blue bar, or the purple bar, I should say. You use mana every time you press that button. You can only press it up to 2 times at once. And then she has her triangle ability, which allows her to see where every enemy is on the field and be able to teleport and attempt to kill one of them. It's interesting. Fae. Or the Fae. I don't know too much about the Fae because I don't normally play a lot as her. Actually, I never even played a match as her, to be honest. But the Faye is an interesting character who can... The Faye is an interesting character who can do that. It's a kind of a kill minions ability, AoE and all that. She has an ability that can slow down the enemy, but do it like she can cast down some vines in a straight line and try to kill the enemy. She does her ultimate, which is that which tethers the enemy to a spot. Spot of her choosing, of course. And this is what we call a team battle, where everyone from our team attacks everyone from their team. And we just killed everybody on the team. Cool. Faye also has the abilities to, just gonna get out of this mode. Faye also has abilities to do a long shot, which I'm not entirely sure what else that does besides be a long shot, but you know, it's still good. And the enemy just surrendered. Oh yeah, I ulted because I want to see if I could ult the core. And that is a majority of Paragon. I believe I explained every character. Yes. And welcome to the game. Welcome to the Christmas episode season of Paragon.